Christmas makes you
Bob?
feel...
No. No, 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 no. Now get all that crap out of here. Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for December 23rd, 2019. This week, let's begin with the bigotry of low expectations. STEM professors should give easier grades in order to draw more women into the field. And when you give away high grades they didn't earn, they go on to get jobs they can't do because you didn't fucking teach them how, and you end up with a bunch of unqualified workers in job positions they can't perform. But hey, at least we got more vaginas in the room, right? Who cares if the plane falls apart mid-air because the woman paid to design it doesn't actually understand aerodynamics? She feels better and fills an equality quota, so it's all good. Call it equilibrium grade inflation. No thanks, I'll just stick to calling it discrimination. The authors of a new study suggest that science and technology professors should equalize average grades across classes in order to draw more women into those fields of study. Performance and merit be damned! We want vaginas in these seats! Inside Higher Ed reports that researchers examining administrative and course data from the University of Kentucky's archives from 2012 found that students both spend more time on STEM courses every week, about an hour, and that they also got lower grades in STEM classes than in others. Did it, by chance, ever occur to these researchers that it takes more time, study, and effort to learn real sciences than fictional oppression bullshit? I mean, STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What's left? Nothing but subjective fields where literally anything can be correct if you feel like it. Gosh, I wonder why STEM is so much harder than everything else. Notably, the authors determined that women in the sample data, though possessing higher grades overall than men, were underrepresented in STEM classes. Their contention that harsher grading policies in STEM courses disproportionately affect women, according to the study itself. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did anybody else catch that? Women in the sample data, though possessing higher grades than men, amazing how you skipped right over that shit like it was an afterthought, huh? I mean, that's a pretty significant finding, don't you think? It completely destroys your premise because it proves one of two things. Either women are already being given higher grades in STEM, as you're suggesting we need to start doing, thereby making your suggestion irrelevant because it's already happening, or women don't need your fucking help from a vagina bonus because they're perfectly capable of doing well in these fields, all on their own merit, and are demonstrably doing better than men already. In either case, it would certainly appear that your desire to boost women's grades in these fields to attract more women is a pointless exercise, isn't it? They're already getting higher marks, and you're still not getting enough of them interested. Maybe it's time to consider the other possibilities. Maybe more women just don't fucking want to do STEM. Maybe they aren't fields of study or occupations that interest them. Maybe you're trying to unnecessarily rig a system that doesn't need to be rigged at all. The proposed solution to draw more women into STEM, Higher Ed reports, would be to require the same mean grade across classes, in effect grading on a curve. Sounds fabulous. But here's a question for you. What if the highest achieving students in the class are already women? I'd have to mark them down to level out the field, wouldn't I? Now imagine you're a woman who is also the top student in the class because you busted your ass, worked hard, and studied long hours to become so. How are you going to feel when I mark you down because Karen over there didn't study, didn't work hard, and didn't get as high a grade as you. Still think this sounds fair shit for brains? The authors note that many factors contribute to the STEM gender gap, not just grades. But it is a major factor, they argue, and one that is arguably easier to do something about than other cultural issues. Right, so the disparities are not caused by grades. In fact, our data shows women are already achieving higher grades, but fuck all that shit. We need a vagina bonus anyway because reasons. Someone remind me, who are the sexists again? The people who think women can achieve on their own, or the people who think women have to be given things they didn't earn because they can't achieve on their own? I mean, with self-described allies like these, who needs enemies? What's next, Bob? Principal agrees to hold anti-bias workshops after student criticizes affirmative action. How dare you criticize our institutionalized racism, you racist? A white Jewish student groused to two white Jewish guidance counselors that she had been waitlisted at a top university, while peers with worse academic achievement got in without a problem. That's because you don't get the color bonus points that are totally not at all racist, even though it's entirely based on race. She specifically identified athletes and affirmative action recipients. A black student claimed to overhear the confidential meeting, branded her comments racist, and started an uprising at New York City's Beacon High School. Want to bet that student was an affirmative action recipient? In response to a Friday protest that spilled into a Monday boycott and student-led teach-in, Principal Ruth Lacey promised to institute anti-bias workshops, recruit more non-white teachers, and hold an assembly to discuss and apologize for alleged racist incidents. New York Times reporter Eliza Shapiro tweeted late Tuesday morning.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Yet again, someone has had the audacity to question actual, institutionalized, written into law racism. So, we propose to stick them all in re-education classes and tell them that they are the racist for questioning the racism. The reporter had tweeted Saturday that the white senior was heard loudly complaining that her black classmates received college offers only because they were black, without further context. To be fair, you can't assume that. They could have earned their spot through academic achievement. The problem is, no one can be sure one way or the other because you created a racist system. Even if you're a black student at a university now, you may feel like you worked hard and busted your butt to achieve your position. You may think you've earned it all. But even you can't be sure you weren't a diversity quota. And to me, that's one of the worst parts, because it's robbing you of that sense of pride and accomplishment. You shouldn't have to wonder if you've earned your spot. You shouldn't have to wonder if you were a diversity recipient. You shouldn't have to wonder if you're just filling some color quota. Just like any other student on campus, you should know you have earned your spot, and you should be proud of that accomplishment. But you can't, because you don't know. You can't know. They took that away from you with affirmative action. For the rest of your life, you're never going to know if you achieved success or if you've been given something because of your skin color. And to me, that is the real crime. They've cursed you to a lifetime of doubt. But the New York Post interviewed the student and noted both she and the guidance counselors were Jewish. They were reviewing scattergrams, charts on admission data, showing that some students with less academic qualifications than she were accepted, and the counselors mentioned scholarship programs for minorities. This is what provoked her to complain about the unfairness of students who were accepted to college without meeting the rigorous criteria that I and others worked so hard to achieve, she said. And she's right. It is unfair. You can polish this turd in as many ways as you like, but it's still just legalized discrimination. That's when the black student barged into the meeting and started calling her racist, provoking cyberbullying and threats, and even one teacher telling her she doesn't realize her Jewish privilege, the Jewish student said. Shapiro tweeted that a boycott organizer told her that black teachers encouraged the students to strike, and the post identified one of them. What we're asking of all students, do not come to school that day to show solidarity for the support of not just students of color, but all students at Beacon in providing a safe space, said a teacher who identified himself as Mr. Green at Friday's boisterous cafeteria gathering, which was videotaped. Until the demands are met, students are not to return to school, the teacher, identified as science instructor Demetrius Green, exhorted the crowd of hundreds of teens. Some Beacon students called for a sit-in instead, suggesting kids wear black and tape their faces. But the teacher asked, what is that going to do? Students before you, before I, have done the same thing and nothing has happened. Shapiro posted a list of demands circulated by protesters. The administration must apologize to students in multiple assemblies and press statement for allowing racism to fester for years within the student body and the administration itself. They want an investigation into the guidance counselors, investigations within 48 hours of reported acts of hostility, software tracking of reported incidents on each student's permanent record, and mandatory workshops and training for staff and students on affirmative action, microaggressions, and implicit biases. On top of that, teachers must attend culturally responsive education training, and the school must diversify counseling staff, getting rid of the elitist hiring process. Students should be given time to complete assignments and other work that was due while they were protesting. Get all that? I'm sure you did. It's the same thing as these Fruit Loops always demand. More me, less you. Because you had the audacity to question the correct racism. Same shit, different day. Principal Lacey emailed students on Saturday to say she was moved by the passion of protesters on Friday. The patterns of behavior they mentioned are unacceptable. She alluded to the planned Monday boycott, suggesting no one would be penalized for missing class. And this is exactly why they keep doing it. 0 consequences for their actions. Life is full of choices, folks. No one can do everything. For everything you choose to do, there are a number of things you simply can't do. But these kids are never going to learn that lesson because you keep protecting them from it. Take time away from your studies to pitch a racist hissy fit? Don't worry about it. Long as you were protesting for the correct racism, you're fine. Those studies weren't really important anyway. Of course, we're still going to charge your parents and taxpayers a couple $1,000s per hour for those completely unnecessary classes you didn't go to, but don't worry about it. Nothing in there you really needed to learn anyway. Kinda makes you wonder why they were required to take these apparently unnecessary and unneeded classes in the first place, doesn't it? Next one, Bob. Why we must take white supremacist symbols seriously. Oh, fuck off. Do I really have to address this stupid shit? Fine. Let's refute this quick then. Using your own words, David. But this year, the game was marred by an incident involving some members of a small group of cadets and midshipmen who stood behind the announcer during the pregame show Saturday. They subtly flashed a thumb to index finger hand sign, the one we usually recognize as okay, but that both the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center say can be associated with white supremacy. Though both organizations note that the modified OK symbol started as a hoax to trick people into thinking innocuous hand symbols were symbols of hate. The end. It was a troll. It worked. Your super unbiased and totally reliable ADL and SPLC even admit it. Yet because they're fucking hacks, they hedge the truth with bullshit to pretend they were not just trolled. They were. You were. It is not a white supremacist hand gesture. Just gonna guess this guy isn't a white supremacist. End of story, and fuck off with this stupid shit already. The longer you ass clowns hang on to this faux outrage because you see white supremacy in everything, the dumber you look. Toxic time, Bob. North Carolina woman used kidnapping story to steal truck, police say, after 26-mile pursuit. A North Carolina woman was arrested this week after claiming to be kidnapped in order to steal a truck. Then she was kidnapped. We've been over this. The Randolph County Sheriff's Office said Virginia Saavedra, approached a house on Beckerdite Road in Sophia on Wednesday and falsely told the resident that she had just escaped a man who was trying to kidnap her. The resident then let her sit in his 2002 Ford F-350 pickup to warm up while he went inside to call 911. Odd choice. I mean, I'd have probably just let her in the house to use the phone to call the police herself. It was determined that Saavedra, that one needs a damn consonant this time, used the kidnapping story as a ploy to prey on the unsuspecting citizen to steal the vehicle, the report said. While he was on the phone, he saw her drive away in the vehicle and reported the theft to police. A patrol car that was already responding to the kidnapping report spotted Virginia, on the highway and began a pursuit that ended up lasting 26 miles before Virginia pulled into a rest stop on I-85 and got the truck stuck on a grassy area as several police cars boxed her in. Virginia then tried to flee on foot, but was quickly apprehended and charged with several crimes, including larceny, assault, and resisting arrest. She was put under electronically monitored house arrest, with bail set at $150,000 ahead of a scheduled court appearance on Friday. I don't know why she's not sitting in jail. I mean, did she post the bail? Is that how she got out? Because I don't get it. You stick an ankle bracelet on them and send them home, but you also say there's 150. I don't get why would there be bail if she's not actually in fucking jail? I'm confused about that part. But I do get what actually happened. That part's clear. She was kidnapped by a man. See, so clearly she must now fear all men. I believe that's how this shit works these days, right? One bad man means all men bad, right? So she didn't steal the truck. She was running away from the guy calling the patriarchy police because she was afraid they were going to box her up and ship her back to the kidnapper. That's why she ran from them when she got the truck stuck. Oh, shut up, Bob. That makes perfect sense. In a just world, every single man in this story would be behind bars right now. But no, we live in a patriarchy full of toxic masculinity. Okay, what's funny this week? Okay. So Bob didn't find anything particularly funny this week, so we'll wrap it up with more toxic masculinity instead. New York teen says she faked kidnapping that sparked Amber Alert. A teen seen on video being dragged inside a car and kidnapped on a New York City street in front of her mother and then found hours later admitted to staging the incident, according to media reports. Carol Sanchez, 16, admitted to fabricating her abduction, New York Police Department officials told the New York Times, saying the incident possibly stemmed from the teen's difficult relationship with her mother. One police official described the mother as overprotective, according to the Times. Investigators are still determining if Sanchez or the two men involved will face charges. I don't know why that's a question. They absolutely fucking should. The Monday incident, which was caught on security video, captivated New Yorkers, prompted an Amber Alert, and got widespread media attention. The New York Police Department celebrated the news of her safe return Tuesday. Footage from a security camera near the scene was released, and authorities implored the public to help in finding the girl. It was not clear what may have prompted the staged kidnapping. One police official pointed to Sanchez's mother's desire to relocate them back to her native Honduras, which the teen was opposed to. Her mother wanted to move them back to Honduras, but she was adamantly against it, one police source told the New York Times. I'm sorry, the New York Post. Times, Post, fucking who cares. Sanchez was questioned inside the New York Police Department 40th Precinct in Bronx Tuesday night and released. The alleged abduction occurred around 11:20 p.m. Monday as Sanchez and her mother were walking near East 156th Street in the Bronx. Surveillance video appears to show two men jumping out of a car and shoving the mother to the ground and dragging the 16-year-old into a car before speeding off. On Tuesday, Sanchez approached police officers who were stationed on Eagle Avenue just after 2:30 p.m. and told them she was the missing teen. The pair live in Long Island and had been in town visiting family members when the incident happened. An aunt identified as Idalmi Martinez, 56, said the family was looking for answers. She is a very happy, calm person, Martinez told the Times about her niece. She's always with her mother. They're very close. She is always around us, her family. Oh, crap! Which story am I supposed to believe when a woman tells us two exactly opposite stories? Gah! That's it for this week. Remember the social justice mantra: women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.